July 16, 1945, Jornada del Muerto Desert, New Mexico. Before dawn, J. Robert Oppenheimer stood alone beneath a darkening sky, his thin frame wrapped in a hat and coat against the desert chill. Around him, the most powerful scientific minds on Earth waited in silence. Physicists, engineers, soldiers, all staring toward a steel tower rising from the sand. At its top sat a device they had spent years building, calculating, and fearing. The world was asleep. History was not. At 5:29 a.m., the first atomic bomb would be detonated. But in the final minutes before the countdown reached zero, what filled the air was not triumph, it was doubt. Oppenheimer later recalled that a line from the Bhagavad Gita echoed in his mind. He did not speak it yet. Not then. At that moment, his fear was simpler and more terrifying. No one could be certain the bomb would work. And worse, no one could be certain it wouldn't destroy everything. For months, scientists at Los Alamos had quietly debated an unthinkable possibility, that the atomic explosion might ignite the Earth's atmosphere itself. The calculations suggested it was unlikely. Unlikely was not the same as impossible. Enrico Fermi, standing nearby, joked grimly about betting odds on whether the bomb would end the war, or the planet. Some laughed. Some didn't. The Manhattan Project had been born from urgency and terror. Since 1939, the fear that Nazi Germany might build an atomic weapon first had driven the United States to pour unprecedented resources into a secret scientific race. By 1945, Germany was defeated, but the bomb had taken on a momentum of its own. It no longer belonged to fear alone. It belonged to inevitability. When the countdown began, several scientists turned away. Others lay flat on the ground, shielding their eyes with dark glasses and crossed arms. Oppenheimer did not move. The flash came first, brighter than the sun, violent and absolute. Then the shockwave hit, ripping across the desert floor. A massive fireball rose into the sky, twisting into a shape no one had ever seen before. The mushroom cloud climbed higher and higher, as if reaching for the heavens themselves. Silence followed. Then came the cheers. Relief. Nervous laughter. Men shaking hands, slapping backs, exhaling years of tension in seconds. The bomb had worked. But beneath the celebration, something else settled in. Some scientists felt immediate dread. They understood before anyone else what this meant. The weapon they had created was not just another tool of war. It was a threshold. Humanity had crossed into a new age, one where a single device could erase a city, where civilization itself became fragile. Physicist Leo Szilard, who had first warned the U.S. government about atomic weapons years earlier, felt sick. He had wanted the bomb built as a deterrent, not as a means of annihilation. Others quietly asked the same question: too late to stop it now, had they done the right thing? Oppenheimer watched the cloud drift and expand. This was no longer theory. No longer equations on chalkboards. This was reality, irreversible and alive in the sky. Weeks later, after Hiroshima and Nagasaki were destroyed, the fear deepened. Scientists began to realize they had unleashed something that could never be contained again. Nations would copy it. Improve it. Multiply it. The bomb would not end war. It would haunt peace. Standing before a government audience later that year, Oppenheimer finally spoke the words that had waited inside him since that morning in the desert: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." It was not a boast. It was a confession. The scientists had succeeded beyond imagination. And in doing so, they discovered a new terror, not of what their enemies might do, but of what humanity now held in its own hands. The desert returned to silence. The world never did.